Oh, hi, writers. You just caught me finishing up my checklist. I was trying to see if I actually finished telling my story. I remember writing the beginning with you when I introduced all the characters and the setting. And then I also remembered telling you about the most exciting part of the story, right? Where the problem happened. And then I broke my arm. Woo! But I realized I didn't finish the story yet. I didn't tell you what happened after I broke my arm. So you can come with me and I'm going to show you what I'm going to add to the ending of my story. Okay. So, boys and girls, the ending is usually where the problem is solved or fixed. And in my story, you can't really solve my problem because I already broke my arm. So, the only thing that we did was basically go to the hospital and I had to get my arm wrapped and wear a cast. So I'm gonna add that to the ending of my story. I couldn't rewind and then fix my arm magically. I actually had to go and wait in the hospital and get it fixed and wait a few months for it to heal on its own. So I don't want to write all of that. I just want to write that I went to the hospital so the doctor can help me feel better and fix it. So I'm gonna try to do that right now, and you guys can come watch me put my ending in my story, and then you'll get a chance to try it right after, okay? Okay, writers. So I have my story in front of me, and I'm just going to give you a quick retell or summary of what I wrote so far because we've been reading it over and over again. So remember, my title was Jennifer's Unfortunate Playday. And then I talked about how it was a beautiful day and that I was playing with my sister and my friend Bruce. We found a cool shopping cart and had this great idea. Dun, dun, dun. And it actually was not a great idea because my friend said, get in the cart and I'll hold on and it won't let go. And then we got in the cart, but it fell over, it flipped over, and then I broke my arm. So now I'm on my last page and I need to end it. So what really happened was my mom ran out because she heard me crying. And then she took me to the hospital to get my arm wrapped in a cast. So I'm going to write that. Um, hmm. Let's say my mom heard me crying and drove me, because she drove me in a car, to the hospital. Drove me to the hospital. I got my arm wrapped in a cast. Nice. So I can actually draw the hospital. Actually, you know what? I think I might draw my mom's car driving to the hospital. Maybe I can draw myself and my mom in there. She's driving the car. And I'm going to draw a big building here because the hospital was huge. It has a big red cross on the top, so we know it's the hospital. I could write hospital too. Hospital. And it was still sunny outside because this just happened and it was still bright. So I'm going to draw that. Nice. But you know what? I still don't really feel it like it's complete, wrapped in a cast. Maybe I can write what I learned at the end of all of this. Because I've been telling you, right? I learned that I should be more safe and to kind of listen to my brain when it tells me not to do something, right? So maybe I can write something like that. So my mom heard me crying and drove me to the hospital. I got my arm wrapped in a cast. From that day on, I thought twice before doing anything dangerous. Because even before I got in that car, I knew it was dangerous. But, I didn't care because I didn't think anything could happen. But yeah, I definitely learned that I should not do things that I know would be dangerous because I will end up getting hurt. So I'm going to draw myself with a sad face. And I'm going to draw my arm in a cast. And boys and girls, a cast is kind of like some wraps that they put on your arm so that it can stay still, so that your hand or whatever's broken, your bones can have some time to heal. So that is what I had to do. I had to wear a cast for about 4 to 6 months. And that was not fun because then I couldn't really play any other games, really. So I ended up losing out on some fun. So that was not a great choice. But at least I learned, right? I learned a lesson. Okay, writers. So I just finished coloring and adding some more details to my illustrations. And I finished the ending of my story. So I wrote what happened after I broke my arm, and I even wrote a lesson that I learned. So that's extra credit right there. I thought it just made the story sound a little bit better. So it's up to you if you want to add that, but I'd like you to try it because I think that would be really great for us to know, why are you sharing this story with us? Why is it so important to you? Was it because it's one of the saddest moments in your life? Is it because it's one of the happiest? Is it because it was one of your firsts? And this was kind of everything, right? It was one of my happiest because I was so happy to have that shopping cart to play with. I never got to play with shopping carts. So that was one. And it was also one of my saddest days because I broke my arm and it was so painful. And it was also one of my firsts because it was the first time I broke my arm and first time I had to go to the hospital to get a cast. So there was a lot of reasons why I wrote this story, but the main reason is from that point on, I remembered that I should be a little more careful when I play, right? And I should kind of listen to my own thoughts and say, I kind of feel like it's not a great idea, so maybe I should rethink this and think twice, right? Maybe I shouldn't do it. So I cannot wait to see what you guys share in your story and what lesson you learned. Okay. And I'll see you guys together again at Writer's Workshop. So have fun. Bye.